Glad to have you join us on another exciting episode of Creative Lounge. My name is Ahmed Mohammed Bello, your favorite Duke on your favorite show. On today's episode of Creative Lounge, I have someone, very sharp in the house. As a curator, an artist, and an art historian. He goes by the name Jonathan Adamu. Welcome to Creative Lounge.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I can see you dressed almost alike.
Our twinning.
So that's artistic dressing.
Yes. Yeah.
I know you've been a curator for a while. You studied art history, and you're also an artist yourself.
Yes, I am.
What do galleries really want? Talking about the quality of art they like, what makes an art successful for them to take an artwork?
Okay. So to answer your question, what do galleries really want? You see, it all depends on every gallery, at least before your inception, they should generally have what are they about, like what is their aim and what are their objectives, and that generally is from that it determines the type of artworks that they want. But generally, what galleries want is to sell.
Okay.
And that's if they don't really have works in their collection. A gallery like Orisun Gallery, for instance, we already have a large array of works in our collection, so we intend to sell art. But outside of that, we are promoting, or galleries generally serve to promote art and artists. They try to communicate certain, depending on the content of the pieces, they try to communicate with the larger audience.
Okay.
So galleries, at the crux of it all, galleries want to sell art, but also they want to promote art and to tell a story. So it differs depending on the type of gallery. So different galleries have different aims, but they generally want to sell art as the number one thing, and also to promote art to the larger art audience.
Okay. So what are the criteria an artist needs to meet, to be selected or to be collected, for his art to be collected in the gallery? Take, for example, the recent gallery now. Let's say I'm an upcoming artist.
Yes.
I'm just, springing up. I come, maybe I apply, for my artworks to be, displayed here.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
First of all, before any artist reaches out to a gallery, I advise that they actually go to the gallery to see the type of artworks that are there and if they meet the criteria of that gallery. Because generally, you can have a lot of instances where somebody has never been to the gallery, so they just want to exhibit an artwork there. So you have to meet. I believe that artists, if you go there physically, you know the quality of artworks that are there.
Okay.
So subconsciously, you are aware of a criteria that needs to be met before you can now approach them and say you want to exhibit in a gallery. So you have to look at the genre of artworks that are there first of all, before you cannot bring out your work. So I think it's not a given that you will actually be exhibited in the gallery, but you put your best foot forward, or an artist should put their best foot forward in order to come to a gallery and say they want to exhibit your work, because they may not be what the gallery is looking for, and they may be what the gallery is looking for. So they need to put in their best work. But also it's very important that an artist needs to visit the gallery first, so they have an idea of, okay, do my works actually, will they fit in this type of space, or what actually do I want as an artist?
Okay.
Because if your aim as an artist fits in line with the gallery, it's better. But a lot of artists, they just want to. I believe there's no really direction. A lot of artists just produce art. If you have an aim in mind, okay, what am I painting towards, or what's the end game in this? Then to really tailor what type of galleries that you approach and what type of arts that you, let's say, send to a gallery to display in their collection.
Okay. So that means if an artist does installation art, you should know the kind of gallery to go to.
Exactly.
If he does sculpture, you should know the kind of gallery,
he goes
to. I get that. Let's talk about, understanding art itself. Should art be judged based on its beauty or its meaning?
To answer that question, the aim of art is generally self-expression.
Okay.
So it's like a form of release you're releasing from the inside, like your mind or your heart, onto whichever medium you choose to use, be it you're a painter in oil, acrylic, or a sculptor, or an installation artist, or you do sculptures. So it is at the base of everything. Art is a form of self-expression. It is when you now look at it professionally or commercial, or as a commercial endeavor, that you now really need to look at, okay, what type of art do I actually want to create? Because do you want to be a commercial artist, or do you want to be like a well-known household name? So if you want to be a commercial artist, the type of arts that you produce is much different, or I feel it's much different from the types of pieces that you produce if you want to be a household name. Commercial pieces are things that easily sell, like household, what's the word I'm looking for? Decorative pieces, let's say, like
For aesthetic purposes.
For aesthetic purposes. So do you want to be the type of artist that produces for aesthetic purposes, something that somebody will just simply buy for, let's say, a giveaway price and just hang in their house? Or do you want to be somebody that is known worldwide? Do you want to build a career for yourself that, okay, this person has a niche for himself or herself and produces this specific type of art? So I feel you need to have an aim. It's all about direction. In as much as you're displaying art or producing art for as a means of self-expression, you still need to, okay, and then what? You still need to, art materials are not cheap. You still need to know, okay, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? You need to have a direction which will pull you into whichever way you want to paint or create. You also need to do a lot of research. Thankfully, we have a lot of great artists in Nigeria. We have people that's well-documented people, let's say like Bruce Onobapaya, who is one of the founding fathers, and now Onabolu, or let's say the Oshobo School of Jimo Buraimo, and also different artists, Ben Emunwu and co. So there are artists you can look upon, see how they did it, and learn. So you can also guide you in the path you want to take. In as much as everybody produces art for art's sake or for as a means of self-expression, you need to know, okay, and then what? You can't just, the way the world works, you can't just produce for production's sake. You need to have direction, and also if you want to be able to sell those pieces, you need to provide a niche for yourself, because I believe everything has already been done in the art world. There's basically nothing new under the sun. What an artist can do is decide, okay, how can I do this existing style differently? How can I make it my own? So it's all about research. It's not just about, starting out, you can just do it for, okay, I'm an artist, I love to produce, I like to express myself. But the more you look at it as a professional endeavor, you have to look beyond just the art for art's sake and see where can I take this, where can I go as an artist, what can I contribute to the larger art scene? Is it just for me to paint and keep in my room or my studio, or do I want to paint and maybe even make a new genre of artist or bring in a new line of different artists? So there needs to be a future. You need to look at the future.
Okay.
It's not just about the present. You need to look beyond what you're doing now. So it is. That's why I feel that research is also very important.
Very important. So take, for example, it's my first time coming to this gallery. How am I supposed to, look at art? I've spoken to so many people and they'll tell you, I don't even know what people go to look at in galleries. I don't understand what they all look at. They look at it, they scrutinize, but I don't know how to make meaning out of art.
Yes.
So tell us, if someone comes for the first time, what are the things they should look at in an art piece?
First of all, art is subjective.
Okay.
So people's interpretations of a specific piece differs. And also there's a famous saying that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah.
So something I may find beautiful may vary from what you may find beautiful. Luckily for us, there's a wide array, depending on the gallery you go for. Let's say Orishun Gallery. There's a wide array of different artworks, different artists. So there will always be something that you will like. And it's all about creating a connection. I've sold some pieces where, personally, I didn't really see the value in it, but I saw a woman, she looked at the piece and she was brought to tears because she reminded her of her and her family. As I saw the piece, I'm like, what is going on here? But you see, so that is the thing about it. It's all about communication.
Okay.
Artists are creating for everybody and also a specific target audience, because it may not resonate with everybody. So an artist has to keep that in mind, and also a gallery has to keep that in mind, that the artwork that they're exhibiting or the artwork that an artist is producing may not connect to everybody.
He said something about resale value, just now. What makes art expensive?
What makes art expensive?
You see someone who paints an art piece and he says it's going for, take for example, 2 million naira. And you see someone else who paints maybe an abstract piece that is not even up to, you didn't, spend so much time, so much effort as the person who is selling for 2 million naira. He did some abstract work and he's selling for, say, 3.5. What are the factors that, contribute to the value of an art?
Okay. So the thing about arts, or rather the value of an art piece, it goes down to the name. A lot of the time, it's not even the piece that has the selling power, it's the name behind it. Let me use an artist, for example, like Bruce Onobrapeya. What sells his pieces is not always, though it is physically appealing, but it's that name adds extra value. If you take out the name from that piece, it becomes, let's say, a 3 million naira piece.
Yeah.
With his name on it, it's valued at 3 million naira. If you remove his name, it becomes, let's say, like 500,000 or a million. So there's power in the name. And before anybody buys a piece, they're like, who are you? Or who is the artist? Where have you been? Where have you exhibited? You can't just wake up one day as an artist and just put 1 million naira on your piece when you have not done anything. You have not worked. You have not put in the work. You have not exhibited anywhere. So a lot of what puts value into a piece is how many exhibitions has that artist had?
Okay.
How many people have bought those artworks and who has bought those artworks? So it's the constant evolution of the artist and his participation in the larger art world that adds value to his pieces. You cannot just wake up one day and say, I'm an artist. I want to go and paint something. I go and pick, let's say I have an amazing concept, be that as it's me, and just paint it. That's half of it. You can paint an amazing piece and add value to it, but along the line, if you want to have resale value, you need to put in the work. You need to exhibit as an artist. You need to put your works up for auction, because those are generally what adds value to you. So it's basically your portfolio.
Okay.
You need to bolster your portfolio. You need to put in the work. You can't just... To become an asset, you need to be worth something. And to be worth something, you need to put in that day-to-day work. You need to exhibit any exhibition you see. If it's in line with what you have in mind, you exhibit.
How true is this saying? There's a saying, that your art only has value when you're dead. Is it true?
It is true in the sense that it cannot be reproduced again. Because once you're dead, or an artist is dead, it becomes a one of one. That means nobody has, unless it's replicated and somebody forges a signature and it's a fake, that original piece cannot be reproduced again.
Okay.
So that is generally why artworks have more value when the artist is dead, because it becomes a one-of-one. When the person is alive, he can decide to do a series one day, okay, then do multiple versions of the same piece and number it and title, okay, this is 1 of 30. But once the artist is dead, the value automatically appreciates.
So your art has value when you're dead. We're going on a short break. We'll be right back. You're welcome back, and it's still Creative Lounge, and I have Jonathan in the house. We've been talking about what galleries want. I have a new question for you. We are in an era where AI has taken over. So we have so many digital art out there. People use apps to, create digital art. Photography is almost taking over the internet. Do you think AI and photography is art?
Okay, so for AI now, AI there has been a new wave and new emergence of artificial intelligence art. But as hard as it is to accept, it is also art, but it is not the conventional type of art. The thing about art is part of it is the journey. As an artist, before you reach point D, you have to go through certain things, certain experiences. You have to experiment and play with a lot of things before you can reach a part where you're comfortable in your piece and your piece has reached a certain level of creative ingenuity, like you know that this piece is amazing, the technique is and everything is sound. But AI, I can just anybody can carry a computer, type, Van Gogh, and it will be like Van Gogh painted it himself. So there is no, in as much as AI is also art, there is no originality in it. It is just taken from one part and one part and one part, and it's even in conventionally or conventional artists, those that use either digital art or paint and canvas or other conventional art forms. Though artists also take inspiration from other artists, but it is a different ballgame with AI. AI is like the artists themselves as taking, and where do you draw the line between original creation, an original created piece, or something that a computer just mixed and matched together? It's art is about the journey. No, even the masters, let's call Picasso, he didn't just start out as he didn't wake up one day and do cubism. Or AI, you can wake up one day and do cubism like Picasso. You can type it in your computer, do cubism like Picasso and add elements of Degas or Van Gogh or different famous artists, and you can create something. That is art. But when you talk about the conventional arts, it is not really art, because like I said before, art is a journey. There is no journey with pressing your keyboard on the computer and getting a masterpiece. There is no originality to it. There is no experience to it. There is no pain. There is no love. There is no laughter. Creating an art piece, there are different emotions that go through your mind that determines how that piece is going to come out. Originally, you can start out as, I want to make this piece.
Yeah.
You have this image in mind. But once you put your canvas, your paint to canvas, something changes. The idea, though there's where you're going to, but along the line, that journey changes. Exactly. Things may come up, you may have different ideas. But with AI, it's not the same. Though I can see the value in AI art, like if I were to use AI, if I'm to do a sketch, let's say I have a concept in mind and I don't have much time on myself, I can type in, okay, this concept, doing this, doing that, in a place like this. Okay, I put a sketch in mind. Doesn't mean I cannot use that sketch from AI and create something original. But notice I emphasize on sketch. I'm not using AI as a finished work because it takes away from the genuinity. There's this human AI art is why people appreciate art and why art is what it is because of the human elements to it. It is never the effort put into it. It is a journey. AI, you can do it in 5 minutes, a minute. There are some pieces that you can. I've done pieces that took me up to a year. It's not because I could not sit down and in one place and say, "Let me finish this work and start now. I'll start at this point." It was a journey for me. I stopped. I thought, "Is this what I want it to be?" I look at it today. I look at it tomorrow. What can I add? What can I subtract? It was a journey for me. Maybe I've even learned new skills, new techniques. Can now incorporate it into the art. AI is not like that. There is no emotion, and art is always about emotion. Whether you're a digital artist, whether you're an animator, whether you're a conventionally trained artist, or you use the normal oil on canvas, whatever medium you choose to use, it's all about. It's the emotion that is put into it. It is the journey that you go through to reach a certain point in time. And all conventional artists always go through a journey. You just don't wake up one day and say, okay, even though you wake up one day and say you want to be an artist, it is still the journey, the behind the scenes journey that maybe you went out as a kid, that you picked up this, you picked up that subconsciously, and you reach this point. For AI, that is not the case. It is what you see. You can just carry this picture, and mix and match. And that takes art without emotion, without that human
angle to it.
It's so not art.
Would you call AI-generated art scam?
This is a scam. Because anybody can do it. You don't need any particular skill. All you need is a program or an application. You put it in, voila, you get it. Without no expertise, without no journey. Just based on I can do this easily. And AI will make people lazier. It's two sides of a coin. For people that use AI, it makes them lazy because they can just easily do anything. But for us conventional artists,
Artists.
we have to be more creative. We have to think, if we're thinking outside the box, now we have to think outside the box, out of the universe. How can we deviate ourselves, or how can we be different from this AI? How can we probably stand out? Because what stops a company from just using a digital or an AI application to create something, as opposed to using an artist, is that human elements to it.
Okay.
It adds some extra depth and dimension, adds extra beauty to it. You can really, knowing the time that was put into something makes you appreciate a piece of work more. As an artist, I would say there are more disadvantages to AI than there are AI, because AI, I feel it makes people lazy. You don't think. I use AI occasionally, and not for painting. Maybe I have a concept in mind and I want to send a letter to somebody or so. So I'll just put send this letter in this particular way, and it will do that for me easily. Something like that, makes me lazy. It is more of an advantage of saving time.
Yeah.
That time you could use to do something else, and the mental energy you're using on it makes it easier. But then again, it's still a scam. As from the art's perspective, it is still a scam, because an artist that has spent 20 years honing their crafts, mastering a specific technique, AI, somebody just come and do, this artist has spent 20 years in this thing, carry his style, put like this, and add, finish. And it will be on par. Okay, maybe not on par per se, but it will be very similar. You wouldn't even be able to tell
that it's not
who is who.
I get you. There's a phrase I came across, and it's called outsider artist. Do you relate to it?
Personally, I don't relate to the term outsider artist. Okay, maybe in some sense, where I personally choose to not be involved in the wider art scene, let's say in Abuja.
Okay.
It is a personal thing of mine where I rather be and do it from the outside.
Okay.
But the term outsider artists, yes, it is something a lot of upcoming artists, I feel they are outsider artists, because to be an outsider artist, I feel there's some rebellion in it. And if you look at the type of art pieces that some of the up-and-coming artists in Abuja does or do, there is a rebellious nature to it, and an alternative nature to it, like avant-garde, as compared to the conventional, mainstream types of artists that we have, traditional artists. Because we have, the thing in art, there are different classes. We have the traditional artists, we have the formally trained and informally trained artists. So there are different perspectives you look at a piece, and you can, more often than not, artists that are the outsider artists are the informally trained artists, or they didn't come into art through the traditional means of art. So there's an outsider art, and there's,
So there's a self-taught artists.
Yes, there are self-taught artists.
The non-academic artists.
Non-academic artists. There have been plenty discussions about the authenticity or the value placed on informally trained artists and formally trained artists. The argument being, formally trained artists, we went to school. We spent 4 years consistently doing so and we got our certificates. Whilst the informally trained artists, they didn't go to school for the art, but they had that inbred talent, and through study or through different experiences, they were able to hone their craft. So it's informally trained artists and formally trained artists are like water and oil. They don't always mix well together. But as a curator, it is all art at the base of everything is a means of self-expression. Whether you're a formally trained artist,
whether you're a professor,
whether you're a master, whether you're a child, a baby that just gave birth and picks a brush and paints, it is a form of self-expression. And people often forget that at the basis of arts, despite everything, is a means of self-expression. If you can express yourself comfortably and confidently, you have produced an art piece. Though it may not meet the standards of, let's say, the professors and the different bodies of arts, but you have met a personal goal, you have achieved, you have expressed yourself. And if you have expressed yourself, you have created art, you're an artist. You don't have to be formally trained, you don't have to be informally trained to produce a piece of art.
Okay, very good. Last question. I want us to be very quick about it. We don't have much time. Tell us the challenges of the art world and what you think the future of art is going to be.
A major challenge, I feel every area or state has its own sets of challenges. So I'll use Abuja as an example.
Okay.
First of all, I feel there's a disconnect between artists as a whole. I don't feel there's proper communication between all the sectors of arts,
Okay.
between art and galleries and collectors and art appreciators. The thing is, people go into it without really doing their research. You cannot go into something and want to succeed in something without knowing what it is.
Yeah.
You have to do your research. You have to dive in. Like in the Abuja art scene, I feel everybody's on their own, and there are a talented slew of unknown underground artists that they don't know how to properly package themselves to be better appreciated. And it's all because of research. You're an artist, fair enough, but if you have not done your proper research, how will you know how to approach a gallery? How will you know how to pick the interest of different collectors, people that actually buy your work, without doing proper research? Because you need to do research. It's like anything, to succeed in anything, you can't just go into it half-heartedly. You need to know what you're getting into. So there is a power in research, and that is something that people who don't really succeed in arts, they don't do enough research. And even when you even exhibit your pieces, affects your art, your journey as an artist. You need to build an image for yourself. The idea, in fact, even the most important thing is the idea of yourself as an artist. What do you think of yourself? Do you feel like you're an anyhow artist? Or do you feel like you have potential to be something great? And it differs depending on the region you are in. Somewhere like Lagos. Lagos is more accepting. That is why a lot of artists thrive in Lagos, because there's a higher appreciation of arts in Lagos than in Abuja. In Abuja, everybody's on their own. You don't know who is a collector, you don't know who's an artist, and nobody's putting in the work to connect the pieces together. And nobody's really doing the research. You just, I wake up one day, I want to do an exhibition. Why?
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed your perspective and insight. I wish we have enough time to go on. There are so many questions I wish to ask you, but there's barely enough time. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your time to enjoy this conversation.
You're welcome. This is what we call it today on this episode of Creative Lounge. I remain Ahmed Mohammed Bello. Join us same time, same station next week. Bye for now.